Breaking news in the Middle East and the U.S. under attack today. Iran firing missiles targeting a U.S. airbase in Qatar, all in retaliation for the bombing of its nuclear sites on Saturday. Qatar's military says its air defenses successfully intercepting the missile attack today, and no injuries have been reported.
The U.S. military has 40,000 troops stationed throughout the Mideast. 10,000 of them are in Qatar. President Trump and U.S. officials have been preparing for Iran to respond since the strike on Saturday. And there are no credible threats here in New York City, but there is extra security outside some sensitive locations.
We'll have much more from the Bronx and the measures being taken in a live report from the Middle East in just a moment. But let's begin with NJ Burkett right here in the studio with the afternoon's developments. NJ?
President Trump says the U.S. was warned that Iran gave advance notice of the missile strike in Qatar. So yes, this could be an escalation, but it could be an opportunity for a de-escalation. The next move will be up to the United States. Iranian missiles rained down on Qatar, and they were intercepted one by one. The Al Udeid Air Base is the largest and perhaps the most heavily fortified U.S. base in the Middle East. The Air Force was bracing for an attack. President Trump visited the base just last month, home to the U.S. Central Command and 10,000 U.S. troops. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, issued a statement claiming it was retaliation for the U.S. airstrikes this weekend and that Iran responded with precisely the same number of missiles used by the United States. A clear signal to the Americans that the response was proportionate and not intended as an escalation. New York Congressman Mike Lawler.
Hopefully, they are wise enough to recognize that an escalating response against the United States will be met with the full force of the U.S. military, and it would be ill-advised for them to do so.
Iran's leaders appear determined to show resolve at home while hoping to avoid a new round of U.S. missile strikes, possibly on their population centers. In Israel, Iranian missiles targeted an electrical substation. In some neighborhoods, there is heavy damage, but because the nation's missile alert system is so effective, residents move quickly to bomb shelters, and casualties have been limited. The Israeli Air Force expanded its target list in Iran today to include political and state security targets, and a new strike on the Fordo nuclear site, amid questions about how much of it was destroyed by the United States. Military experts say there is a more important question.
What's most concerning is there's 900 pounds of highly enriched uranium that is missing. Nobody seems to know where it is. With just a little bit more enrichment, theoretically, the Iranians could build 9 to 10 nuclear weapons.
And there has been speculation that Iran moved nuclear material in the days before the U.S. bombing. Again, to recap, 19 Iranian missiles were fired on the U.S. base in Qatar today. All but one were intercepted, with no reports of any injuries. The U.S. was warned, again, in advance of the attack. Mike, Sade?
Certainly got the world's attention, though, no doubt about that. NJ, thank you.